Okay, so we are going to audio mix Shao Kahn's voice to say Ruvik wins. First thing you're going to want to do is go to MortalKombatWarehouse.com, link is in the description. And you'll want to open up these two links here in tabs. And go to each of these, go to sounds. There we go. And enter sound section for both. And for both of these, you'll only need to click on Shao Kahn and it'll take you down to the download links. So get those downloaded, unzip the files. And you ought to go through and import most of the Shao Kahn voices. You don't have to import all of them. Specifically for MK3, all you need to do is just get
Finish him.
all of these here, and then just get all the names in this folder here. Same deal with MK2 here. Now you just need like these files here. Well, all the files for MK. Alright, so you can either import the voice files over to Project Media, or you can just directly go to Explorer and look up the files here. And you're going to want to find the specific voice file that has the sound you're looking for. In this case, we're going to be spelling out Ruvik, so we're going to find a voice file with a good R sound, like a starting R sound, like rrr. So we're going to go ahead and go through here.
Cabal, Jax, Kano, Liu Kang, Moto, Shang Tsung, Kung Lao, Striker.
Alright, we'll use Striker. We're going to get that audio file into the timeline.
Striker. Sector.
Alternatively, you can keep going through here. Basically, if you're not too sure about the sound you've got in the timeline, you can listen to it a few times here. And on hindsight, it's probably not going to sound perfect, or it's not going to sound right, so you can go ahead and get rid of that from the timeline and keep looking through.
Sindel. Cyrax.
I'm going to be looking for Ermac.
Kitana. Mully Reptile. Scorpion. Reptile.
Oh, you know, Reptile, that could work too. Just gotta be careful. Drag it out a bit so you can hear only the R sound. Give it a few listens if you're not entirely sure. Okay, that should be fine. And we're doing the voice for now. We can add the music in later. Check it out a bit more, see how it sounds. Okay, that ought to be good enough. So now we're gonna go and we're gonna find an ooh sound for the U. I'm gonna look for that file where he says you suck.
Friendship. Round well done. Wins. Excellent. You suck. It's official. You suck.
Okay, here we go.
You
And I cut this out here. Take this back a bit. Looks like we got the ooh sound down. Should be fine. Now we're gonna have it so they're crossfading here. Now let's have a listen. Or screw around with this. Okay, the R could be a bit shorter, so we're gonna drag these along here. As I mentioned, give it a few listens if you're not too sure.
Fight!
Okay, so now we got the first half of the name Ruvik down. On my end, anyway. And now for the second half, Vic. It shouldn't be too hard. You could look for the flawless victory sound effect.
Fatality. Flawless victory. Vic.
Yep, right here.
Victory.
And since I got the you suck file here, I'll just right click that, hold it down, drag it over here, select copy here. We're gonna drag this out. And we're gonna get the k sound. Now let's drag this over here. Have these crossfade of it. Now we're gonna drag this over here. Now let's have a listen.
Vic.
That sounds fine. This is something that I'm kind of sort of throwing together here, so you don't have to do it exactly. You got all the sound files here, so feel free to experiment, go through all these, and find which ones work the best for you. So we've got Ruvik down. Let's have another listen.
Vic.
Yep, of course, do a little trimming where necessary. And now we're gonna find the wins file. You can either use the wins file from MK2 or MK3. For this, I'm gonna go for MK3. So where was that file?
Round. Finish. Fight. Fake. Round. I. Well done. Super. Wins.
Here we are. For MK3, it's 09145. And let's see what it is for MK2.
Finisher wins.
Okay, for MK2, it's 00900_02. But here we go. Let's have one more listen at the final product.
Vic wins. Vic.
We can go ahead and drag this under here.
Win. Vic wins. Vic wins.
Okay, nice. Drag this back here. One more listen.
Vic wins.
Yep. That's what I always do. Listen, listen, listen. Until you believe. Until you think you've got it down right.
Vic wins.
And chances are you'll have a result sort of like this.
Vic wins.
Now if you want to do the music cue, What I'm gonna use is the fatality cue from MK2. So we're gonna drag this down here. We're gonna select these, move these down a bit. Now we're gonna let it play out. Pick a spot where you want the voice to come in. Right here, right around here should be fine, so go ahead and give it a listen.
Wins.
Oh, one more thing I should bring up. For all these, you want to select these, right-click. Well, this is what I do anyway. You can go ahead and toy around with these. But my usual preference is to select these voice files, right-click, go to switches, and select normalize. And the volumes should go up to the max for these. Now let's have another listen.
Ruvik wins.
And that is peaking. So we're gonna bring it down here. And go ahead and bring this one down a bit too. Now let's have another listen.
Ruvik wins.
And the fatal sounds a little bit too quiet, so bring it back up.
Ruvik wins.
In fact, these are a bit too loud. Let's bring these down too. Now let's see how it sounds.
Ruvik wins.
Make sure they're finely mixed. You don't want it too loud, but you don't want it too quiet either.
Ruvik wins.
Let's bring up the master a bit more.
Ruvik wins.
Bring this up a bit too.
Ruvik.
You'll want to be able to hear these two equally.
Ruvik wins.
Okay, that should be good here. Now I'm gonna find that sound for this. So we're gonna go back up, go through. Here we go. So let's have another listen.
Ruvik wins.
This can come in a bit more earlier. Right up to here should be fine.
Ruvik wins.
A little more early.
Ruvik wins.
Nah. I didn't like how that overlapped. Okay, one more.
Ruvik wins.
That's still a bit too early, so let's bring it back up here.
Ruvik wins.
Okay, that's a little better. And now let's go back to Shao Kahn, and now we're going to find the fatality sound.
Finish it. Wins. Finish. Fatality. Flawless. Fatality.
Okay, now, let's hear what we've got.
Ruvik wins. Fatality.
The fatality could be a bit earlier. And let's bring this one down a bit.
Ruvik wins. Fatality.
Okay, that should be fine. Okay, so to give a bit of a recap about what we just went through. Download the Shao Kahn VOs from Mortal Kombat Warehouse, import the VOs to Project Media, or just go to Explorer and pick the right ones. Pick the right clips and cut them down to the sound level you want. If you're not too sure about how it sounds, give the trimmed audio a few listens. If it ends up not sounding right, then get rid of that from the timeline, not the imported media, and just keep going through the sound files until you find. And then, basically, yeah, just take all the trimmed audio, mix them together, make sure everything is evenly mixed, make sure everything sounds equal, and make sure nothing sounds louder than the other. It's basically all gotta sound equal. And then you can just highlight all of this, go to render as, and then if it's just audio only, it should be at wave at default. It can be your audio file of choice. I personally prefer wave. Of course, you can go to customize template and customize to your heart's content. And once you've got what you need, just enter in the title of the sound file and then click render. And that ought to be it. I hope you get some use from this. And basically, the main thing you gotta do with something like this is just down to 2 words. Have fun. Alright, I hope that was helpful for you, and